Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, and I am in dire need of a haircut. Good freaking Christmas. I've not really looked at myself in a mirror lately, but I am in dire need of cutting that mop down. And now, here we are. I get back from vacation, and I already want to take a vacation from this, because this track is gonna kill me. It's bad enough that it's the second longest track in the game, but we have to do it backwards, which is infinitely harder, and I have to do it with this car, which is the worst handling car possibly for this track, and I have to do it while I'm just spewing and hemorrhaging horsepower out of every conceivable orifice that it has strapped onto its pie hole, and it's gonna be bad. I mean, we will have the one little thing in our back pocket of knowing that every car is going to have to take a pit stop at some point. But we may have to also. I mean, this is a long race, and it's a very twisty race too, so the likelihood that we may very well have to use a pit stop ourselves is it's there, and I'm not liking it. This could be a race that we very easily could get 100% just obliterated, decimated, annihilated, you name it. It's gonna... I don't foresee this being pretty. Especially because every single time my tire even touches the inside portion of that, he just like... he's like filling out the paperwork to spin the fuck out, and I don't want it. This, it just kind of reminds me of a time way earlier in this playthrough when we were in the amateur league, and we did... I think it was like a 10 race, you know, cup challenge. And we did it with our newly acquired at the time Mercedes-Benz touring car, and we were in races, I think races like 8, 9, and 10, and we were at a point where we needed an oil change, but the game doesn't afford you the opportunity of doing that, which I truthfully think is kind of a dick move, because I mean, you're doing, especially here, you're doing 10-lap races. That's 100 laps of driving. And, I mean, if they don't give you a chance to fix your car, I mean, you're going to start losing power, and that gives the edge to the other cars. And I think it's kind of bullshit, really. Because the other cars don't deal with that. You know, that's not something that, you know, they have to be up against. They just are constantly at 100% the whole time, and that's gonna pretty much do it. I'm pretty sure we're gonna not even be close to winning this race. Like, we may at some point in here, we may be trailing by over 30 seconds. I would not be at all surprised if that happens. So, just prepare yourselves for that one. It's so hard to remember how these turns work because you're not used to having to address them this way. You know, like, doing this race in the other orientation really isn't that hard for me. I mean, it's hard because the track is challenging, but I know how to take the majority of the turns properly. Here, however, though, it's just mayhem because I don't remember how to take most of these, and I'm still kind of reeling in trying to remember how to control these cars as I'm bouncing back and forth between this and Gran Turismo Sport. So it's not going to be pretty. So if you guys were coming to this episode hoping for me keeping my, you know, sizable winning streak alive, you have come to the wrong place this evening. But while I'm here, I guess, you know, while the futility parade is running at 100%, I can, you know, spend some time talking about my my vacation that I just got back from. I mean, it wasn't like anything insane. It's not like I, you know, went out of the country or I went to like Vegas or, you know, some, you know, super hardcore destination. I just went to, you know, Michaela and I decided we wanted to take a week off, and we wanted to take some time away and just, you know, enjoy each other, you know, and, you know, we didn't have the kids got to be with their dads, and, you know, I got the time off of work, and we just decided we were going to drive off to the coast and just have a damn good time, you know. We were going to go to a place that we've not really been, at least not in a long time. We went over to Seaside, which is just a small little touristy town. I mean, it's not a booming metropolis by any stretch of the imagination. It's really almost like one of those types of towns where if you sneeze, you may miss the entire damn thing. Like if you get on the main road when you come in, you're pretty much out of the city in about like 4 minutes. Like it's a very small place, but in its heart, in the heart of the shopping district, it's actually really nice. Like there's cool little touristy shops and there's cool places to eat, and you can go out on the beach. And Oregon beaches are beautiful. They really are. So it does have a lot to offer for being a small spot. And the hotel that we got to stay at was fucking awesome. It was really, really nice. It was called Rivertide Suites. If you guys ever decide to go to Seaside and spend some time there, that is the place to be, because their rooms are just gorgeous. It was basically like a fully it was basically like staying in a fully furnished 1-bedroom apartment, like a really nice one, no less. Don't do it, you motherfucker! God, that one fucking tire. I do not understand. I don't understand the physics or the reasoning or the logic of why that happens. Like, why is it that when a tire makes any amount of contact with that thing, it's like it's got like a fucking tractor beam. It just like sucks it into the wall, which makes no sense. I don't understand why that is. It's just shit. But whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna have to be content with a 4th place finish, because even the guy in 3rd is probably a good 10 seconds ahead of me at this point. It is at 20 seconds. This is just fucking awful. This is so bad. And there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I don't feel like I'm racing terribly right now. Like, I'm not doing great by any stretch, but I don't feel like I'm doing terrible here. And they're just all straight just beating the piss out of me. It is, yeesh. But, yeah, dude, our room was interesting. It really was. Like, it had a gorgeous little bedroom, and it had an awesome bathroom with a really nice big shower that also had, like, jacuzzi jets in there, which was really cool. And it had like a fully stocked kitchen, not like with food, but had like a microwave and a stove and an oven and a dishwasher and all that stuff. And it actually had like pots and pans and plates and dishes and glasses and all this stuff. So I mean, you could live in this place if you really wanted to. I mean, it's literally just like a home. And so we had a couple nights where we just dined in. Like, we went to the grocery store and got stuff and just came back and made food in the kitchen. It was awesome. But the weirdest thing about it, realistically, was they had plates and glasses and silverware and stuff, but they didn't have forks. I don't know why that is. I don't know what kind of weird security measure that was like intended to be or something, but it had spoons and knives in there, but no forks. It's like the owner of the hotel are like, all right, well, we'll give them spoons and knives. I'm not giving them forks. I had a traumatic experience with forks when I was 6 years old. I was carrying a box full of forks that my dad ordered from the Postal Service, because the Postal Service offers forks for some reason. And I got them, and I tripped over a broomstick, and I fell on the floor, and the box opened, and one of the forks jabbed me in the eye and took out my damn eyeball. And now I just have this complete and total phobia of forks. And so wherever I go, I don't want there to be forks anywhere. So you know what? If they're gonna stay at my hotel, they can have spoons and knives, even though knives are infinitely more dangerous at base level. But they can go out to the store and they can buy their own goddamn forks. They can have plastic ones, I don't care. But it was weird. Like, we just opened the drawer and we're like, there's no forks in here. I mean, if we got something that really required the usage of forks, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. But and it was cool. Like, one of the days we went to, this is a cool little story actually. This is kind of a strange thing. So one of the days we were there, we decided to go kind of walk down the boardwalk in Seaside, and we wanted to check out some of the shops and things. God damn it, no! Why does that do that? I don't understand why it does that. It's just a tire driving over that surface. Why does it cause it to just spin out maniacally? It makes no fucking sense. We're losing by 35 seconds. This is terrible. 35 seconds. I mean, you know, I understand part of it now because we're starting to spin out like a fucking jackass, but good lord. I mean, it's like he's possessed by the demon of fine racing, you know? But we decided we're gonna go down, you know, the little boardwalk and check out shops and things, and while we're out, we go into one of the little malls there. It was a tiny, tiny little mall. It had like 6 shops in it. I mean, it was just this little podunk thing. And they had like a little tiny arcade in there. And I, like, the word, God fucking damn it! Are you kidding me? Seriously! That does not make any fucking sense. None! Why does a tire touching that fucking surface do that? It doesn't fucking add up at all. That is so fucking stupid. God fucking damn it. I cannot take it. I cannot take it. Ugh. I mean, we might get lapped by this guy. That is an entirely realistic possibility. Like, I'm at the point where I'm so mad that I'm starting to just, like, I'm losing it here. I'm really losing it. This is so fucking stupid. Anywho, now that I've slowly come down off of this, aside the fact that I'm sweating because I'm mad, we go into this little arcade, and I use the word arcade very lightly here because I mean the room was just a hair larger than the room that I'm in right now, and it had like 2 arcade cabinets, and it had a couple of claw machines, like the weird ass ones, not like the skill crane ones that, you know, we all remember from childhood. They're like the weird, like, new age ones where it's like this weird, it's like this, like the one where you have to match it at the perfect height and the perfect depth, and there's like a key in there, and you have to like unlock this magical lock, and if you miss it by like 1 millimeter, then a ghost will come and, you know, rape you in your dreams or some shit like that. But there was one skill crane in this little tiny ass room, and it was very interesting. It was a very intriguing one, because you know how a lot of those, you know, they'll play music to kind of entice people to come up to them. Well, this particular one, when we walked in, you know, I was looking at everything, and I was looking at some of the cabinets they had. They had Nicktoons Racing in there. I had no idea that was even a thing that existed in an arcade. Like, I've heard of it being a console game, but I didn't know that it was actually an adaptation from an arcade console. It was crazy. It looked terrible, by the way. Like, it did not really look good at all, particularly. It looked like basically almost like the like they took the console adaptation and just like are emulating it in an arcade cabinet. It didn't look very good. It was a very poor Mario Kart, you know, clone, if you will. Anywho, so I'm looking over there, and all of a sudden I hear the music coming from the skill crane, and I was like, that sounds kind of familiar. I hold on a minute. I gotta go over and listen to this. I get up really close to this little skill crane, because the music that I heard, I had to confirm it just to be sure. But the music that this little thing was playing was totally, it was totally the Route 1 music from Pokemon Red and Blue, from the classic Pokemon game. I was like, are you freaking serious? Like, it hijacked Pokemon music and it's just playing it right through this? Like, there's no way that they had licensing for that. But it was, yeah, it was just the little theme, the one where it goes, you know, that one, just like the classic, like the classic first theme that you hear more or less when you start playing the game. And I was like, this is freaking crazy. I was like, there's no way, because I've never even heard of this skill crane before. Like, it wasn't like a high profile one that was made by like a big company. It was just like this little tiny podunk one that looked like it was made by like a team of 3 people in some dude's garage, and they just put like, they took like a few songs from like random games and threw it in there, along with like a couple of like royalty free just like stock like carnival music type of things. It was a janky little machine. I would have totally played it. I wish I would have taken video of this thing so you guys could have seen it. It was nuts, but ended up not doing it. This in no way, shape, or form is getting any better. I really hope that car decides to take its pit stop at some point soon. It's like this is. I'm trying to keep my mind off of it, but this is embarrassing. It really is. Like I do not feel good about this. Like I understand the reasoning for at least about 85% of it. I mean, part of it is just off the merit that, you know, this car is not the ideal vehicle for this, and I'm hemorrhaging horsepower at every given turn here, and so I was destined to lose it anyways. But the fact that it's happening by nearly a full minute is what's embarrassing here, you know? It is bad. It's very bad. 49 seconds. 49 whole seconds. Good God. So, yeah, one of the other days that we were gone, we decided to go into Astoria. Actually, it was the night that we got there, I believe. We actually decided we dropped our stuff off in our room and we wanted to go out and have some seafood. We were dying for some Moe's clam chowder, which I love it. So we drove 20 miles to Astoria. So we wanted to check theirs out. Never been to that location before. It was definitely way better than the one that's in Lincoln City. We go in there, we get our food. I got my Slumgolian, which is the clam chowder with all the tiny little bay shrimp in it. It was delicious, by the way. And our waitress was super awesome. She was just like there chatting with us while we're eating. And she was telling us the story about how she used to be a bartender. And she brought me a beer, and we were talking about it because Michaela's like, because she likes to smell my beers when I get them, because obviously she can't have them, but she still loves the smell of the beer, And so I got mine, and I let her smell it, and the lady's like, "Did you just smell his beer?" She's like, "Well, yeah, I can't drink it, but I at least I love the smell of it," and so. She's like, obviously, definitely not going to be drinking it because I'm, not a horrible person and whatnot. And the lady's like, "Hey, I've seen people do it." She's like, "Seriously? Like here?" She's like, No, not here, but she's like, "I used to be a bartender for a long time. And at this one place that I used to bartend, there was a lady that used to come in, and she legitimately thought that if you drink O'Doul's, non-alcoholic beer, that it's okay, that you can do that while you're pregnant, and no big deal," which is total bullshit. Because even O'Doul's, even though it is technically a non-alcoholic beer, I think that there still is a little bit in there. Like there's still a very small percentage of it that does contain alcohol. I don't know how much it is, but it's definitely way lighter. But the fact that she thought that was acceptable. And the worst part about it is not only did she do that thinking that it was okay, but she would only do half O'Doul's, and then she would cut the rest of it, the other half of it, with Bud Light. So it's like so you're taking something that still has a little bit of alcohol in it, and then you're just mixing just regular beer in there, just completely negating any idea of you trying to take the moral high ground there, thinking that a non-alcoholic beer, quote-unquote, is gonna, get you to the promised land or whatever the fuck. She's like, and she used to come in all the time doing it. But it's like, on the same side of the coin, it's like, why are you serving her? If you know that she's pregnant and that, she's doing this, I mean, you have the right to refuse service to anybody, so why are you giving it to her? Which... I don't remember the rest of the story because I was eating and I kind of missed part of it, but I think that she would come in with her friends, and her friends would be the ones that would order the alcohol, and so it would look like, make it look like she wasn't ordering it, but then she would just be the one drinking it. I think is how she kind of tried to play the system a little bit, and that's just fucking bonkers. It's like, so that's one thing that is just incomprehensibly stupid as far as, people and shitty decisions go. Another one is I had a lady at the same place that she would come in and she would have her friends buy wine, and she would sit here and drink the wine while she was pregnant. She thought that that was acceptable, and it's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? It's alcohol. Just because it's wine and it's, you know, in certain ways better for you, it still doesn't make it okay while you're pregnant. I mean, God, fetal alcohol syndrome is totally a thing, and it needs to not be trifled with. That is some bad shit. Speaking of bad shit, the guy did break the minute mark on me. That is just sickening. That makes me feel really bad. And I'm really afraid to know how the rest of these races are going to go. Because we're going to be doing, if I have to guess, probably like Grand Valley Speedway again. Probably Tokyo, the Tokyo R246 track. And then maybe, what's the other one? The Côte d'Azur? Azul? I don't know. It's one of the two. It's going to be something like that. And I don't know how we're going to fare. I truly don't know how we're going to fare in that. That was so bad. Oh, my God. At least we got 4th place. If you're going to lose by a minute, at least we still got 4th place. I mean, God, even the 2nd place guy was down by 12. Wow. That was awful. I mean, in terms of, like a split for losing, that's gotta be probably the worst I've ever taken in my entire career playing this game. Dead serious. I'm not just saying that for shock value. That had to be the worst. And, you know, only part of it was really my fault. Like, I obviously I didn't race a great race. Not even close. But despite that, it's just the fact that, you know, my car just couldn't handle it. Like, and the fact that the game doesn't allow you to leave and go do an oil change to get your car back in racing shape, I truthfully think that is bullshit. That is not cool. Because they're setting you up for failure. Like it's like the game's way of saying, even if you're really good at this and you're winning races handily, we're gonna fuck you over so hard because we can. So I don't know how these last ones are gonna go, which means we're gonna have to come back and re-race them at some point. Oh, good. I can't wait. That's gonna be the best thing that ever happened. But yeah, so, I mean, there's more stuff that I can tell you later about the vacation. I just kind of got caught up in this, and it was bad, and ew. So if you guys were hoping for a high-class me kicking the crap out of everybody race, you came to the wrong place tonight. But it's progress in its own right, so until then, my friends, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching and enduring the struggle, and probably laughing at my expense. And I'll see you guys next time. You take care and have a good one. Bye.